worthy of
You better get it and take it.
Shut up.
You record the video?
So we lift up glory to you. We sing glory to the Lamb. We sing think of His goodness. Nobody like Him.
All right, family. Amen. Hershon on RPG. Rugged Prophetic Ghost of Alien. Bedrock Nation. Able to wield the double-edged sword to rightly divide the word of truth. So to my brothers and sisters out there, to all of my refugees from continent.
And the women's 800-meter final is her place to play and show the world what she can do. As a matter of fact, the mayor of Trenton said, Trenton makes champions, and the whole world is about to see that in Tokyo. How will Athingmo run in this? Will she go straight to the front? She is ready to win gold.
From the Nile Valley. My Kush, Queen of Sheba, children.
Until today, I always thought that the world's tallest people were in Holland and Latvia. And then I came to the country of South Sudan and I can't even touch the top of their heads.
South Sudan, as you can see, is a land of the tall and dark. That's the first thing you're gonna see when you first come to South Sudan. And I love it. I love my height, and being here makes me love it and makes me embrace who I am and how tall I am.
So your friends and family the same height as you, the girls?
I'm actually short, believe me. But my brothers are way taller than me.
Okay, so just for reference, you filming? She's the shortest one, and look at this. Like, you're like 5 inches taller than me. I'm the tallest one in my family.
No!
Yeah. The majority of the country's 13 million people belong to the Dinka tribe, who inhabit the banks of the Nile and have some of the most stunning physical features you'll ever see.
To all of my Queen of Sheba children. The lily of the Nile Valley children.
Athingmo.
Look at Athingmo.
It is over now. 48-85.
Are you kidding me? Athingmo.
What a way to potentially go out for the fabulous freshman.
She is absolutely a phenom. We're watching something very, very special.
These are the 4 different types of black people, because y'all seem to be confused. First you have the dark skin, the darkest type, the most disrespected. Dark skin girls are very disrespected. This needs to stop. and dark-skinned men are fetishized. They really have the hardest, so stop disrespecting them. Next we have brown skin, which is what I'm considered. Too light to be dark skin, but too dark to be light skin. They're just in the middle and the most common between black people. Megan Thee Stallion is a good example of a brown skin, and this is a brown skin guy. Next we have the light skin category, and before y'all start, light skin does not equal mix, so please stop. There are fully black light skin. Basically everyone in my family is light skin besides me, so I know. Stormy Reid is a good example of a light skin girl. Both her parents are black, she just happens to be a lighter complexion, and she's beautiful. Last category is mixed. Mixed is when you have one black parent and one parent of another race. Mixed does not equal light skin because there are brown skin mixed people and dark skin mixed people. Blasians are a good example of brown skin mixed people. Most Blasians I know are brown skin, not light skin. At the end of the day, we're all black. Not all mixed people are light skin. And stop trying to separate us because we need to be unified. Also, I'm gonna do types of mixed people, so watch out for that.
So the other day I must have been talking to this black guy and I asked him what his preference in girls was. He told me he liked white girls and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, what is it you like about white girls? And I kid you not, this is how he started off his reply. Because black girls are just too... No, excuse me, sir, you must not have heard the question. I asked you, why do you like white girls? He replied, yeah, I was getting there. I'm like, okay, try again. Black girls are just too... No, sir, you're doing it again. You're talking about black girls when I specifically asked you why you're attracted to white girls. If you can't state your preference without having to bring in black girls, then it only leads me to believe that you're not attracted to white girls because you're attracted to white girls. You're attracted to white girls because you have a hate for black girls. I have no trouble in listing 100 different reasons why I'm attracted to black men without having to bring in any other race. Smells like self-hate to me, but that's none of my business.
To every black girl on TikTok, I'm here to say that I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we have to sit here and watch our race and our culture of women be bashed and disrespected just so they can uplift other females of other color. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that we see a boy of our own color, we're so insecure and traumatized that we don't even think, am I pretty enough anymore? We have to sit and think, does he even want me because of the color of my skin? And I'm so sorry that we have to go through that. You're beautiful and I want you to know it. I promise.
Don't matter what part of what refugee camp you in. Don't matter what crisis you're fleeing from.
This is Nicholas Kristof in South Sudan. Nyadjuk Garang is one of nearly 5 million people who cannot feed themselves here. We helped her into a government vehicle. She hadn't eaten in 3 days, so she walked dozens of miles from her village to the nearest city, Awil, hoping to find food or work. But she didn't make it. She's never been hungry before, she says, but with her husband off at war and a drought that stunted her harvest, she was so desperate that she fled, leaving her 2 children with neighbors. Will the neighbor feed them? The city's hospital offers images that President Obama won't see on his forthcoming trip to Africa. South Sudan will be high on his agenda, though, because the U.S. helped establish this country, and now it's collapsing in war, economic misery, and hunger.
Don't matter what European nation you went into to flee from the manufactured conflict in your homeland. And as the world sit back and watch since 2008 as they destabilized your life.
Its leaders have badly mismanaged the country, and their civil war caused this looming famine. Staple food prices have doubled. The next harvest is several months away. Memories of the horrific 1988 famine here are on everyone's mind.
Does this remind you of 1988 a little bit?
Yes, it's going to be like that actually.
Dr. Dut Piot Eckhout spent his career treating illness. Now his ward is overrun with casualties of war.
Is this the worst you've seen it here?
Yes. I have never seen such cases like this actually. And the coming months, even the mortality will increase actually.
Does it have her hemoglobin level?
Yesterday.
Wow, she's almost dead. I mean,
if 30-year-old farmer Abuk Aju Bol survives, Dr. Dut will release her. But he predicts she'll be back because the government isn't able to address the starvation crisis. Starvation isn't a medical issue, so all he can do when they're discharged is give them petty cash from his own pocket.
We cannot solve this kind of problem actually. Is it always you can just come and put your hand to your pocket? It is very difficult actually.
While the world will sit back and watch from the early 90s in Darfur and Sudan, the world sat back and watched. In Somalia, the world sat back and watched. In South Africa, the world sat back and watched. As all of these colonies, these European colonies, inflict harm after.
The Democratic Republic of Congo is one of the poorest countries on earth. But it holds the world's richest deposits of cobalt. Now the race is on to mine the metal essential to making electric car batteries.
This is what people in this region are digging and dying for.
It's dangerous work. The massive industrial mines, mostly Chinese-owned, are a law unto themselves.
People are dying for lack of safety.
Corruption and violence are rampant. Small-scale or artisanal miners who work on the fringes of the big mines risk arrest, even death. Many are children. This report exposes the brutal cost of our green energy revolution.
Are we under arrest?
It's a story many don't want told.
Put your camera down. Camera down. Camera down.
Now all of a sudden, because there's something going on in a European nation, now all of a sudden we're supposed to stop, drop, and roll. We ain't beat.
President Trump, well, first of all, how are you?
Very good. We're doing well, and it's nice to be in Florida. We're sort of all over the place, but a lot of time spent in Florida.
What is life like as an ex-president?
Well, it's interesting. It's beautiful. It's complex sometimes. We have a lot of endorsements going out and have gone out. We've done very well on endorsing candidates that I think are very good, and they are very good. And we've taken people from who were not going to win, and now they're winning big.
You're talking like somebody who feels he has unfinished business.
Well, we did a really good job. We created an economy that was incredible, and now supply chain problems, inflation problems, gasoline selling for $5, $6, $7. Think of it, a gallon. When I left, it was under $2, and it was largely under $2 for a long period of time. $1.87, $1.67 at one point, and now it's $5, $6, $7, $8, depending on where you are, going up much higher. And we have a war that would have never happened if I was president. That war would have never happened.
When
It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm standing in Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv watching a miracle in process. A plane load of Ukraine Jews have just landed in the safe haven of Israel, escaping certain devastation and perhaps death. There are thousands more innocent women, children, and elderly trapped in Ukraine seeking safety and freedom. The crisis is urgent. We do not know when the borders will close. Will you help us rescue the Jewish people of Ukraine from this horror? The time is now. To see evil and not call it evil is evil. Not to act is to act. God will not hold us guiltless. I'm asking you to help us. Help the Jewish people of Ukraine now.
Since 2006, about 60,000 Africans have arrived in Israel on harrowing trips through the Sinai Desert, fleeing poverty, persecution, ethnic cleansing, and genocide. As refugee camps across Africa fill up and Europe closes its gates to asylum seekers, Israel became the next best option, accessible by land and said to be a developed democracy. But instead of providing them with safe haven, Israel is both refusing to grant them any benefits and denying them the ability to work legally to support themselves. Faced with poverty and exploitation, a new nightmare unfolded.
עדיין לא מאוחר, אפשר מחר לעשות מעשה, להתחיל לעשות את המסתננים, לא צריך לחכות לבג"ץ, לא צריך שום
Two isolated Israelis who dared protest, like this one, were met with a harsh battle.
From the popping tree, from the popping tree.
We are the alien rock nation, the alien dead rock nation. Two rocks. And it's two rocks that are the foundation of these people that the world is exploiting. You got two rocks. You don't flee to nowhere else but to the rock. I'ma send you back to the rock. You got the Elijah Rock, that's Mount Sinai. Elijah Rock, Mount Sinai. And the King David Rock, Solomon said, here I raise my Ebenezer. Here I raise my Ebenezer. All over those lands which are your lands, the children of the Queen of Sheba, the children of the men of Nineveh. So,
Tupac of my generation, Tupac was highly intelligent, but in our culture, street culture, especially in his generation, intelligence was viewed as a form of weakness. How do you get the people that's really affected by, what we trying to solve involved?
Family broken, so I stand with my niggas. Showed up to every shootout, but I ran for my feelings. No time for those, I got a plan to get millions. Whoever don't agree, I see you back at the buildings. That's why I never let y'all act like a victim. That's why I never let y'all kill my ambition. You weren't built for the mission. Park my cutlass in the back of the village. Remember Tony started washing them dishes. It was all a decision. Fast died, he took a part of me with him. Heart broken like my artery missing. Calling you niggas. Team broke, they can't harvest you, nigga. Swore got a heart to it, nigga.
I used to know you were fraud on me. I used to know that I could count on you. All that pressure they bestowed on me. Pray my son never face what I go through. They get it on where they tryna right. And if it feeling like what it sound like. Now my life was a struggle and it get worse. I ain't complaining about it. I just can't never feel the same about it. My life built on damage, ain't understanding, can't call family, no. Got crossed by my closest, I ain't gon' show too much emotion, no. My little one call my phone, I pick her right away. I know I'm living wrong, but it's the right way. I was too busy trying to get heavy, I was lightweight. A lot of niggas that can't live with me, ain't on my side today. I been trying to live with some of these songs in case I die today. Every time I need something lean on, I drink that Sprite away. So it don't feel how it feels to me. Cause I've been through it and it did what it did to me. I trusted you and that was big from me. This my little partner, you do that big for me. And I ain't never jumped in my feelings out here. You for nothing with no photo. I used to know that I could count on you. All that pressure they bestowed on me. Pray my son never face what I go through. And a nigga to get it, don't wear the crown right. And if it been feeling like what it sound right. All my life was a struggle and it get worse, I ain't complain about it. I just can't never feel the same about it.
Mathematical mogul, marathoning, making moves, taking the heartbreaking news, made major breaking news. Nephews, nieces, siblings, seeds, they confused. Waking up, shaking, aching, praying that it's April Fools. Chosen child from the now down, stakes is huge. Snakes and fakes straddling the gate, it's too late to choose. Through violent visions gave victory, paid your dues. Motivated, demonstrated elevated views. Truths don't die, we multiply. I ain't make the rules. Self-medicate, meditate, and celebrate the blues. Neighborhood, roller coaster, you can take the cruise, I'm good. Blue laces, suede Puma's favorite shoes. Jesus to the generation, you never say me on my babies. Most beautiful gift Pluto ever gave me. For such a precious life, who decides price? I couldn't feel the slide twice, cuz they crucified Christ.
I used to know that I could count on you. All that pressure they bestowed on me. Pray my son never face what I go through. And a nigga to get it, don't wear the crown right. And if it been feeling like what it sound right. All my life was a struggle and it get worse, I ain't complain about it. I just can't never feel the same about it.
I ain't nothing like you rap niggas.
I think all that is going to end up being eradicated as far as the beef in LA. Like, we are having to look at in the mirror in front of the world, because everybody watching. There's no secret room where all the Crips is meeting up. There's no group text for me to send these messages through, so I'm gonna have to send them right here, and to he who has an ear.
I ain't nothing like you rap niggas. Worth a couple million, that's a fact, nigga. But I am nothing like you rap niggas.
If you realize it, you know, it's gangbangers, okay? You want to talk about engaging in war, past wars, which is certainly taking place. But we have not brought a new definition of war. How would you be ignorant enough to be the only ones begging for war? Like, look at the nations, the pattern of war that we have adapted. What we see is not something we created. War is something that was going on before gangbangers. And, you know, groups, sections, nations, countries, kingdoms go to war at different times, and they go because there is an issue at hand. And prior to going to war, they attempt to seek and exhaust all other possible ways to remedy the issue before they go to war. And I don't care how bloodthirsty you are, how much of a warrior or a conqueror you are, how engaged in the war you are. Everybody, the winners and the losers involved in the war, when it's over, celebrate the ending of the war. So when you find yourself anti-peace, you got to mentally really look and see what part of your humanity causes you to be anti-peace, because it is not natural to want to be at a state of war. War is the absence of peace. Peace is what we are seeking as human beings. Even the Bible, with all the different hoopla that's stated about religion and doctrine and all that, if anybody who is familiar with that book, regardless of what somebody wants to tell you, the most valuable thing other than everlasting life that book declares to provide is the peace that passeth all understanding.
But I am nothing like you rap niggas.
And these are the valuable things that, you know, every human being is seeking peace. So I don't care how much you wasn't scared of the war or how much you was involved, especially a war that you did not declare initially. As a soldier, a warrior, or whatever, when the war is over, we salute that. We celebrate that. You see people of descent, especially in America. We have a good example. No matter what country we've been through war with, and throughout the years, we have people, members of that nationality, dwelling right amongst us on a constant basis, and it doesn't turn personal. I don't know why people tend to internalize and take it so personal, but yes, I do believe that it will all be eradicated eventually in the future, in a nearer future than we probably realized. I believe, like, let's say the totality of the experience from the time it began to the time it's going to end, which is obviously in the future. I would just say that if it started back here and the ending just per se is here, I think we're closer to here than we are to here. So I don't think gangbanging will be alive in the future for as many years we've experienced it in the past. And I mean out here in LA, with at least gentrification, there's a lot of things that are adding to that in Los Angeles. So even though the activity might spread out, and I would imagine it would continue to dense and thin out, I don't know how hard. It got to be quite hard to fall in love with death and destruction.
I ain't nothing like you rap niggas.
We've accomplished it pretty well, but as you see, there's a cleansing. I think it's time we wiggled out they made. We say third generation gangbangers that live long enough to see it changing. I think it's time we make arrangements. Find me out, wiggle out they mazes. Find me out in different places. It's the spook by the door. Here's the infiltration. Double back, dressed in blue laces. Yeah, the marathon continues. It ain't gonna stop. So what I think about the subject is quite obvious.
Neighborhood Nip Hustle. Big shout out to my nigga SPI, Spotter Low. I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned.
You better get it, Xavier.
Shut up.
You record the video?